put it in my pocket because it pulls my pants.
You know what, I have the same problem with this thing, it's heavy. But what is that? That thing's huge.
But
What
I had
is
to
it?
get like one of the military case
Yeah,
things,
yeah,
so
but
it
what
won't
kind of
break.
phone is it?
It's Ultra Samsung.
Oh, Samsung.
All
Never
right.
mind.
Call the regular council meeting of the whole to order at 6 p.m. Say the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Garrett?
Yes.
Ms. Altier? Ms. Pennington?
Yes.
Ms. Gage?
Yes.
Ms. Belknap?
Yes.
Mr. Belknap?
Here.
We got prior guests to speak. Nick, if you wanna do it now, you wanna speak now, or?
Nope, no, I'm here for Chuck Gage.
Oh, Chuck,
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
There was another Nick supposed to come.
Oh, okay. I'm not that
Or
one.
sorry.
Mark.
What's
That's
your
what it was.
attorney?
Nick Brown.
Thank you. Well,
Yes.
that's easy enough.
There you go.
Thomas Bell.
Make sure this guy ain't lost. 'Cause I thought that's who it was. Alright, in the process, we'll go to approval of the minutes from June 25th.
Make a second?
You can't second my motion, I can't make.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the June 25th, 2024 regular council meeting.
Second.
Mr. Garrett?
Yes.
Ms. Altier?
Yes.
Ms. Pennington?
Yes.
Ms. Gage?
Yes.
Ms. Belknap?
Yes.
Mr. Belknap?
Abstained.
Alright, fiscal officers financial report by Nicole.
I want you to keep in mind, these numbers are as close as I can, but I'm still working my way through. I kinda did it a little bit different, I hope it's okay. Income and property tax collected year to date, $310,551.18. Total revenues collected to date, $1,090,670.08. Expenditures to date, $1,228,848.96. Our fund balance right now is $2,025,901.35.
Thank you. Alright, old business. We had brought up a few things, I know they were working on it, and they'll go through their avenue, just so it doesn't get lost in translation. We are trying to work on the water line, so you do have something for that at some point, right?
Yeah, I was gonna bring it up.
Yeah, I'll let, you can bring, I
I can do it now.
just so we don't get lost in it, so, you go ahead, yeah.
I got an email from Mitch the other day. I had to sit down with Ryan, and there's a whole bunch of questions that I can't answer. So I told Ryan right before the Fun and Sun, I think it was Friday, that we needed to get together. So this week I'll get with him and get that all filled out. There's a lot of questions on sizes and different things that I can't answer myself. So that's where we're at with that.
And with that, we're gonna need legwork, right, from what I got from Mark, is that we'll need some legwork. So what the legwork consists of is going to residents in the township and seeing if they are willing to commit to this project, because if they're not willing to commit to this project, then we can't, well, I mean, we could do it, but essentially it's a waste of money, so, I mean, we just kinda do it, so, I mean, at the time, he said there's kind of a short window, so one at a time, I guess David or Ryan or someone will let us know when that is, and.
Yeah, we'll get a piece of paper put together. He said he'd give us that with our information on it. And then go door to door and see who would be interested and who wouldn't, so we can get an idea.
What
So-
would be the cost for a resident?
We still have to get all those numbers.
Yeah, and they're still in the process, and he also said that the tap-in thing, that, you know, he preferred that they do all that up front, because they can verbally say they're gonna do it, then when the time comes around, they don't do it, and we're still stuck with all the stuff, so it's a lot of ins and out, I guess, whenever they get all the stuff together, they could explain better.
Question, any recommendation as far as like percentage of people? Did he say, you know, if there's 100 people and 50% of the people are good to go, then that would be good, or anything like that, so we can kind of have an idea?
No, they didn't give like a percentage, but we kinda talked, well, Dave had mentioned it to, Gano to see if they
Mhm.
would, and they're expecting us to maybe come talk, so maybe,
We'll have to go to their township trustee meeting and talk to them
Mhm.
about it.
cause it would be really nice if they would help us do a little bit of this, and if not, we'll just have to do it, and, you know, like, I don't anticipate a whole lot of effort, but it's worth at least a try.
This was just water, correct? Not
Water
sewer
with
or sewer
possibility
too?
of sewer down the road.
And even if the wastewater didn't want to, which we probably get a lot more wastewater than we would water, but wastewater, they have loan forgiveness.
Yeah,
Principal
wastewater should be
forgiveness.
a lot like 0%, no money out of pocket kind of deal.
So I think we should definitely pursue wastewater regardless. If the water falls through, I think we should still try for wastewater. We could
So when
use
are
it
we targeting discussions? When are
as
we
soon as
targeting?
Nick gets back and we get all the
Yeah.
required info, right?
Yeah, once I sit down with him, I'll get those questions answered, and then I'll give him a call and see where we're at for the next step.
And when are you
of the
planning on
process.
scheduling that meeting with him, David?
This week,
This week?
yeah. I gotta get with Ryan to get all the stuff
Okay.
done, but I didn't wanna do it, last week with us trying to get everything for the
Yep.
fun and sun.
Yep.
Also something, we are going to, me and Cheryl went, I got an explanation of why he didn't meet us. Colonel Robinson had a death in the family, and it was like very, like, soon, so you don't think to be like, I gotta call everybody and tell them I can't make it, so he did apologize. So we are gonna go forward with the, Arsenal Museum, and there's some stuff that we're gonna tweak. Cheryl will head that, she will be our curator, to where she will go in there and make sure everything's where it needs to be, how it is, needs to be done, this, that, and the other. We are gonna go meet Colonel Robinson on Monday, and we'll go on, yes, and we'll go get to look at the stuff, so she has an idea of where she wants to position stuff. We'll figure out all that. I was looking into security things, but Ted actually did it for us. He has a camera that aims right at the entrance, so why would we go get security cameras if there's already one on there? So that's one thing I was worried about is security thing, because, it may seem like something not really important to us, but there are people that would take a medal or take an artifact or something like that, so we are moving forward with that. I'd like to get that done. We're me and Cheryl are gonna try and get it done as soon as possible. There's some cleaning that needs done, there's some stuff. I spoke with Ryan, we're gonna put a toilet in there. The toilet's already actually in there, so we just have to install it, so you don't have to go into the community center part of it and bother if someone's having a party or event or something like that. And we will have to, at some point, get a wheelchair ramp up to the front of it, because that would be the best entrance due to the Hope Town being over there, and if there's events and baseball games, whatever it may be, so. And then we can figure out, once we get the 501 stuff going, we can figure out how we could possibly get donations to keep it going and stuff like that. I think that's all we have for the old business. Our council president's report.
All right, so this is the third read of ordinance number 2024-7, and ordinance amending section 555.02, notice of cut grass or weeds of the codified ordinance of the village of Windham. Does anyone have any questions on this? No? Okay. Motion to withdraw ordinance number 2024-7 and suspend it indefinitely. Reason council has decided to amend the entire chapter and not just this section 555.02, ordinance number 2024-7. So can I get a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Garrett?
Yes.
Ms. Altier?
Yes.
Ms. Pennington?
Yes.
Ms. Gage?
Yes.
Mr. Belknap?
Yes.
Ms. Belknap?
Yes.
All right, Mark, correct?
Yes,
All right, nice to meet you.
likewise.
Yeah, I almost thought you were here already, huh? But
I would have been, except they closed the road down the street.
Oh,
I was like,
yeah.
Oh, I didn't expect that to happen.
It's rough. All right, 8, we have dispatch, fire, police, rescue, Terry.
Did we have anything on the dispatchers this month?
No.
Okay, I'd like to mark out the dispatchers and make a motion to accept the police, fire, and, not the police, but the fire and rescue reports for, July.
Second.
I don't have a copy of that report. Am I able to get a copy? I did not get it.
That's for July or June?
June, I'm
June.
sorry, yes, June,
June 13th.
I'm sorry.
So
Yeah.
do I remove the word police there from here on out?
Police and fire, no, not,
We just don't
just
have
not
a
have one.
report.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I would just have
I think
that.
I do it first meeting next month.
Okay, sorry about that. Mr. Garrett?
Yes.
Ms. Altier?
Yes.
Ms. Pennington?
Yes.
Ms. Gage?
Yes.
Ms. Belknap?
Yes.
Mr. Belknap?
Yes.
All right, thank you, Terry. Mayor's communication. Like I said, a lot of stuff I say is a piggyback off other things. The park situation, so I'll just go this. I have a grant idea and vision for the park where I want to have a splash pad in the back, a dog park, try and get like a walking track going around, some lights, and possibly get a stand where the people, hot stove and stuff, can have like one of those side of the road sheds to where hot stove can have their own little thing, cause it's a headache right now. And it's not their fault, it's not our fault. I mean, it's just a headache having them in there with stuff we got, stuff they got. It's just too much stuff. So I mean, if they end up getting their own stuff, then I mean, I think it'll work out. And I told them they can build onto it as they go. And I think it'll be centralized, because if they move it down, that's more in the middle of the park. Cause if you're in the back field, you're probably like, I don't feel like walking up there to get a hot dog or on it, and it essentially costs them money. So if you centralize a spot, so that would help out a lot. And then ultimately, whenever we do have festivals and stuff like that, it just looks better. So I think that's an idea of something I wanna do. And, I had a representative from, Congress come, and she gave me some paperwork that I gotta fill out, so hopefully we get in the running for that, so we'll see. I know I mentioned this a few other times, we are a very small community. So in order for a small community to work, everybody has to work together. And I get it. We all have everyday lives, and things may get, a little rough for you, and you might, not everybody's favorite person. So, but when we're here and when we're doing things, I think we just gotta focus on what the focus is, and it's the people. We gotta do what we gotta do for the people. It's not about who you like, who you don't like, who you don't wanna be around, who you wanna be around. We just gotta do what we're supposed to do. So everybody, I need everyone, and I've said this since day one, everybody do what they're supposed to do, and we won't have any problems. Everybody do. The police will police, the administrator administrates, the fiscal officer fiscals, and council people council. Like, the council people are not police. Council people are not zoning people. You guys come in here, you make sure that the people are taken care of through legislation and stuff like that. Like, we have to quit blurring those lines to where people are crossing over into other people's sections. Like, it's causing chaos, it's causing headache, and I'm getting phone calls that I shouldn't be getting from people, and it's causing me some kind of irritation to where I have to talk to people about stuff I don't wanna talk to people about, and it, ultimately, it's gonna come down to, I'm just gonna have to start moving people around. Whether it, I know my rights, everyone in this room can get moved around, including myself, so we just gotta make sure we're doing what we're supposed to do, so it doesn't have to get to that point.
And just to clarify, that's not just council.
No,
Everybody
that's,
staying
I
their own
just,
lane.
I just said everybody, that's everybody, everybody I just mentioned, that's everybody, so we all gotta make sure we're doing what we're supposed to do. And then lastly, I just wanna thank every single one of you, I mean, at some point or way, whether you were there Saturday or not, every single one of you helped do something, and I appreciate it. I know you know, some of you may not have got the time to put in because life is just, like last year, I couldn't make it because I had a wedding, but you know, I tried to help as much as I can, but so, I just wanna appreciate you guys, and for those of you that may not have made it or got to stick around, it brought a smile to a lot of people's face to see that park look like that, and that was pretty cool. And next year, we build on it. We do have some inquiries of people that wanna start a committee, so then that does take the onus off of you guys to where council doesn't have to really do anything other than make sure that things are getting done the way that they're supposed to get done. So that's, as long as everyone sticks to what they said, I think we'll be pretty good next year. And it'll just grow and grow, and before you know it, we'll be the people that people wanna come and hang out and see and all that, and that's pretty cool. But I just wanna let everyone know that, I know this is kinda like a parent speech where I just told everybody I'm gonna do something to them, and then the next I'm like, I love you. But nah, I just, I am, like, it was real well. I just, like I said, we gotta keep moving forward. We got a good group. I literally, with all my heart, have no issues with anyone that's here, and I believe that if everyone just stays focused, we can get stuff done. And I just, let's just keep moving forward, because that was heartwarming to see all those people up there, and I haven't seen a lot of them in some years, so we'll move from there, and I think that's all I have. Yep. 10, finance, Terry.
Motion to approve the fiscal officer's expenditures for the month of June 2024 as reported.
Second.
Mr. Garrett,
Yes.
Ms. Pennington,
Yes.
Ms. Belknap,
Yes.
Ms. Elsier,
Yes.
Ms. Gage,
Yes.
Mr. Bowman.
Yes.
B, motion to approve the all funds bank balance for June 2024 as reported.
Second.
Mr. Garrett,
Yes.
Ms. Elsier,
Yes.
Ms. Pennington,
Yes.
Ms. Gage,
Yes.
Ms. Belknap,
Yes.
Mr. Bowman.
Yes.
Who seconded that? All right, 11, utilities, Scott.
Really don't have anything new today. Ryan, do you have anything that,
Tony's gonna get us a PO so we can get that fire hydrant, and get it replaced.
Thank you.
No, that's basically it. We kinda tabled the loan for the meters until we figure out what we have, what we don't have. So as soon as, we get that, that's the only thing really we got going on.
with Bernie, is that moving forward for the filter? Or?
Yes, that, they're coming next week. So Billy's gonna come in this week and drain the filter, and that's moving forward, so. Good stuff.
Can we get a meeting on the schedule, maybe with, you, Scott, Ryan, Bill, Tony, about the bills, what are we gonna charge next year, what's that look like? We need to increase, whether it's sewer and water, whether it's water, whatever it is, can we get moving on that so that when next year comes around, we're good to go? We make that motion in January so that we can increase the rates.
Well, I think.
or
it
whatever
was-
we talked about, but I'd like to explore it a little bit more.
We were gonna wait till Chuck was here to ask him if we had to go through legislation again, or if
Okay.
we had to.
But I think what she means is
Is-
just get.
Let's
Yeah.
start
get
talking
an
about it,
idea
we're
of
doing
it,
nothing and it's
yeah.
already almost
And-
August.
Yeah.
And talking about maybe adjusting rates, like
Yeah.
giving water a little more, or giving wastewater a little more from water or whatever. I do have, me and Marie, she gave me the numbers of what comes in, like what we have, so. We have, you know, numbers.
We could set that up, we can do that.
I think we should wait honestly though, until we see what kind of money we have.
Well, again, correct me if I'm wrong, and I feel
We
like
gotta raise
we
it.
need to raise them, it's been
Yeah,
a
we have to,
long
but I'm
time,
talking
so.
about before we decide what we gotta switch.
What? I would agree, but I think we
Yeah,
need to
we
start
definitely gotta
having
raise
the
it,
conversation, I
Right,
feel
we
like.
definitely gotta raise it 5%.
Well, they said we need to, for that project, right? So-
Well,
Yes.
to get points, you gotta have the 5%
Right.
increase,
Right.
yes. So that's like, that's mandatory, like, that's fine, but,
It couldn't hurt to look at numbers.
Right.
right.
Agreed. So let's, I'm available during the day, so one time you guys wanna have that meeting. we can,
Yeah, it's just whenever you guys are available.
I'll get hold of you. That's about all we got.
Alright, thank you, Scott. Service committee, Cheryl?
I've been help painting at the police department, and I enjoy it, they're really good guys. And, be working, you know, at the, community center, not the community center, but, with the artifacts. And that's about it.
Thank you, Cheryl. Economic development, David?
The only one I had was for the water line project.
I got a email from Ryan, what was his name, Gage, the electrical supplier, saying our contract's coming back up, so maybe we could go over that.
Okay. I don't even know that contract, I'd have to go back and find it.
I got a copy of it, but we can get a hold of him and see what, cause I'll show you the email, he's saying he recommends that we stick in with just another year instead of going another couple years.
You talking
Because-
about for everything, or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, with IGS,
Yes,
okay, I got you now. That's
The
December,
year-
right?
The year contract's over?
yeah, it went quick, huh?
Wow.
He said it's about to be over.
Yeah, we did do that. in
I think
like
December.
Yeah, no, it was like October,
Yeah.
November
Oh.
or something like that.
Yeah, it was,
No,
it was like October, September, October, so.
Time
Well,
flies
we
when you're
can, we
having
can get a
fun.
hold of it, we can get a hold of it quick, you know,
We already have the foundation there.
yeah, yeah. And it's just a matter of whether we wanna stay into it for a year or 2 years, cause, I'll show you the email, I don't wanna speculate and be wrong,
Okay.
but he said the way the rates are gonna be, he would suggest that we do it for another year, and then after that, consider doing 2 or 3 year contract, because of the way that they predict the rates to fluctuate.
Slight interlude. We need somebody to start posting the meetings. Who wants to do that in the 5 spots and call it paper?
Oh, you mean like at the,
Yeah,
oh, I will.
alright.
Whenever they need help, just say the word.
Thank you, Chuck. Thank you, David. Maryland safety personnel.
I don't have any regular things, just, I thought the Fun in the Sun went really well. I guess we're gonna talk about that more later, but, I didn't see like any, like, safety issues or anything. It just all seemed to run very, very smoothly. I was amazed, you know, except for a couple people just with the heat, whatever that was. I was at the other end with the kids' stuff, so I didn't get a chance to really see what was going on at that main, portion where you guys were hanging out, but I did walk around once or twice and it looked, I was just amazed again, because it seemed to go really, really well. A lot of positive feedback
Oh, yeah.
I'm seeing on Facebook and just wherever we look, so it's looking good, I was happy with what happened and, how it turned out.
Alrighty, thank you, Marilyn. Alright, 15, Parks and Rec, Sheriff.
Alright, so typically Parks and Rec has been the person that's been running that, has been the person that's usually like heading up the activities that we have. I'd like to piggyback off Mac and everyone else. Again, it was a very, very positive event. I wanna thank everybody for their help. I mean, everybody stepped up. Lots of people in the community, was calling on the phone saying, hey, how can I help? Very excited to be part of it and looking forward to what is going to happen next year. And to what Mac mentioned about the 501c3, we're gonna work with Charles on creating that nonprofit, and then, we're looking for, volunteers in the community to be part of this board. I've already had several people call that's interested, so it won't be the people on the council trying to get stuff done, but of course, you are welcome to sign up. So again, I think we need at least 7 or 8 people, I think, to be board members, different responsibilities they will have. So just looking forward to that. I think that it's gonna be really good, upcoming years, and, there actually was an article in the Villager about it before it happened, so if you guys happen to be in Garrettsville and get a Villager,
I do deliver
please,
those.
take a look. Other than that, one of my focuses will be, now that this event's over, is continuing to reach out to small businesses that potentially could have an interest in coming to Windham to open up something, a sub shop, something, I don't know, but I'll continue to work on that, moving forward as this event is over, so that's all I have.
Alright, thank you, Sherry, and thank you for literally all the stuff you did. Like, you did a lot. I mean, it got hectic Saturday morning, I know that. I went to sleep for a little bit, but when I came back, I'm like, you guys did it. I mean,
For sure.
if I could add a cuss word, it was one of those. It was good.
When you
Great
work
job.
together, you get things done.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Alright, Planning Commission, we have nothing. Zoning, Chris?
Okay, so Terry had asked me last meeting about the Shepherd Joy Ministries, I think it's who bought it and what's going on. So, to find out the owner that bought it as a contractor out by me in Freedom, I'm trying to connect with him. It looks like he's just right now, I've been back and forth in there. He's using the building for materials or whatever. And I don't know what he's doing. I can't connect, so he works long hours too, so I'm gonna try and see what's up with that. But here's the deal. I have another little situation. I've come up on some roofs, okay, where they're tear-offs or just layovers, and people are getting new roofs. Well, I've had a couple contractors as well as homeowners say they don't need a permit. Well, this is kind of new to me because all of Portage County, you usually gotta have permits for any kind of roof. So, okay, so I've been studying and digging into the ordinance, and honestly, there's not much in there. So I called Tom Brett, and he said, because I had zoning permit applications for roofs, and he said there really isn't anything in there. So can we anyway get something, I don't know the format and I don't know all the language, amendment, whatever, Ryan, you guys help me, something to go in the ordinance where on roof replacements, whether it's tear off or whatever, however, I personally think they should be permitted. That's up to you guys, but can we have something, at least say they are or aren't, so I can, I have to have something to back everything I'm doing. So,
If they have, if we do that and they have to pull a permit to get a roof,
Yeah.
then does that mean the county has to then inspect it? when it's done?
We're kind
I
of
would
exempt
think.
from them, that's what, David, you
No.
mentioned that, I don't really know from this going, I'm in the township, so it's all new to me, but
Right.
the way they talk to me at Portage County, we're kind of over here in our own little world. So I'm not sure on that Ryan might know that. But either, I know, cause contractors are gonna be
Right,
getting
exactly.
expensive.
Construction has to
Right,
be approved by the county, I don't know about.
A
As
roof
new
replacement, I would think
construction,
a
I think it would
replacement maybe.
fall under the
Yeah.
same ground, when it fall under the same grounds as like a fence. Like a fence doesn't have to be
Right,
inspected from the county. If you're replacing your roof, new construction obviously has to go to
Right,
the county.
Right.
But replacing your
Right.
roof, would that just be,
Well, I can't speak for what is required for the county necessarily, but if you all were to pass some kind of an ordinance here, I mean, you wouldn't be able to compel the county to inspect anything, however, it would be your own ordinance that
Right,
you could inspect underneath yourself as a village, but it wouldn't have anything to do with the county. Now, if
Right.
the county wanted to come in and inspect it, that would be their obligation, they would do something like that, but in terms of an ordinance within Windham, regarding any kind of inspection by zoning inspector, whoever you have, that would just be with the village itself, the county would not be
Right.
affiliated or compelled to do anything with that.
and about that, I actually was at Portage County today trying to get some notes to see what they do, but back in the day, they really didn't even require permits for layover, I call them layovers, but replacements, but they do that now, they said. But, yeah, she made it sound like we're just kinda over here.
so is that the same,
Portage,
is it the same for siding?
and siding, you don't need no permit in Portage County neither.
So that might be something, if we was gonna do roofs, you probably wanna do them both, put them both together.
Yeah,
Roofing and
but
siding.
Portage County doesn't even require permits for siding, she told me that, I said, well, that's, that's good to know, but that, again, we're not, we're over here by ourselves, so we kinda set, you guys do, but is there any way
Maybe
we
like
can
a
get
bylaw.
something, Ryan, in the books for me
I
to?
mean, council would have to vote on it.
Yeah, I know, whatever we gotta do, if you don't wanna do it, that's up to you, I just need to know, cause I mean,
one of the problems if you do that, you're gonna have somebody that is certified to inspect it and know what they're looking for.
I think it's something to think about, and do some research, we could talk about it in a committee meeting.
That's what I was thinking.
I'd look at neighboring municipalities and seeing what maybe they're doing and reaching out, it sounds like the county isn't doing much, but maybe some neighboring communities are doing something, I don't know, Garrettsville or Manaway, maybe they have something.
Yeah.
But yeah, committee level would probably be appropriate to talk about that, next steps.
so moving forward, at this point, any more that I see, just shut my eyes and keep on going, I
Well,
guess.
you have to, because there's no ordinance.
That's
saying
what,
you need it.
that's what I mean, I've actually, yeah, so I've dug and dug too, there really is nothing really to back it,
I know I've
so,
never had to get a permit in the past to replace a roof.
oh, wait, except, I was told in this, I think might be in there, unless they're doing a roof and reconstructing the pitch and all that stuff, that does
Yeah.
require a permit, that I think's in there, so, somewhere. But that's what I was told.
It's like an alteration.
So if they go from roofing to steel,
That don't matter, if they're replacing the roof,
Just
they don't need
asking.
a replacement roof, you don't need a permit based on what we have right now.
I was just asking.
Yeah, it's all new to me too, so. Alright, Lawrence, that's pretty much it.
Alright, 18, housing, DeMille.
I don't have anything at this time, but I was thinking about an ordinance for possibly the rental property owners to have their properties inspected before they sell their property. I was wondering if I could put an ordinance in for that, because we have a lot of rental properties that's like not being looked at, and they selling them, and they're selling them at such a high value that when the other guy get them, it's just hard for us to have pay their taxes. If you understand what I'm saying?
Cause they're being overcharged, so it's eating up
Yeah.
their money, basically.
Yes.
So I found something online where if we mandate that they go through a brokerage to sell like a commercial property, there is no as-is status because the brokerage has to back that loan or that building somehow in Ohio. So I printed that off, I'll see if I can locate it and give it to you, because that takes away the as-is commercial property thing. And then I think I talked with you, Mayor, and with Demel about finding a way, and this might be something, I would like to try to find a way, these people are doing these for sale by owner on commercial properties, getting them or having them register their sale with the auditor's office for the county. Because right now what they're doing is they're doing a land contract where they give so much down, and they're not saying what the total price of the sale is. So they're only paying taxes on the $100,000 sale that they originally did. And until, say they sell their property for $500,000, they bought it for $200,000. They're paying the taxes on the $200,000, but they are working with a landowner who purchased it for $500,000. We're not benefiting from that sale. They're not putting anything in to update those buildings, and there's no record of that sale occurring until it's finalized.
Yeah, the
Well, you
land,
should be recording it with the auditor's office, or with the recorder's office with the county though, for a land contract, that should be
Yes.
happening.
And they haven't been.
Okay, so I mean, that's one thing that I would recommend the administration do is, you know, if you catch wind of that, is notifying that property owner that they should be recording that. And then notify the auditor and recorder's office at the county.
Yeah, because we're having a lot of out-of-state investors
Sure.
purchase buildings
Sure.
for $500,000, but they're paying
Yeah.
taxes at $100,000.
Well, and that's why typically a land contract, you would have that recorded much like a deed, for that very reason, where there's still a public record of that transaction. And even so, you know, there are payments being made without financing, but you still have the record of, the full value of what that transaction is. More of an enforcement issue, I think, more than an ordinance.
Did Miss Pat call you?
yes, she let me know that they are coming up there. I didn't talk to her today. She did call me today.
She called me and then she, bless her heart, she talked so long, on the voicemail, I thought I was really talking.
Was she happy?
She's not happy.
I
They
didn't.
canceled on her or adjusted and didn't contact her and let her know, and so she made it well noted that they're on her time now, so if they won't come, they are on her time, so I mean, that situation, it's gonna have to go. I did recommend Donna to Nicole, so I don't know if they talked, I gave them each other's numbers, so we'll see how that goes with that.
Yeah, 9515 is a thorn.
Also, on that, in the same area, when Yoda, the owner of the one, what's the one behind it?
9539.
Yeah, he did say that he gave the end apartment Hanukkah or whatever it may be,
Yes.
till the 10th to clean that, whatever flea market or whatever they think they got going over there to up. So as village, and he said we can do it, we can get rid of that. So I mean, if
I spoke with Jake went over, he said cause I sent Jake over to clean it up. Like the 13th, or whatever, that weekend. And, he said he was loading it into a box truck or something. I gotta drive by and see.
okay.
I didn't drive by after that, I didn't, slept my mind.
Yeah, cause the neighboring owners are complaining, you should, it's disgusting the way it looked
Right.
anyway, but neighboring owners were complaining about how that looked, and it does look bad, so that did get, is in the process of getting cleaned up, man. So we'll go from there. Alright, village administrator, Ryan.
The only thing I got is, I kinda briefly, spoke with Nicole today about, the east wing of the community center. Seeing if there was money, I got, like, some of you might not be aware, but DOT, someone got a contract with the DOT, and they wanted to know if there was any office space in the village available and they needed it for like a 2-year. So, I mean, we have places like Renaissance or whatever, but I was thinking if we wanna get that side done, now would be the time to do it. If we could get it done real quick, and then they sign a 2-year contract, if we could lock it in where, okay, you look at it, we'll have it ready for you, do you want it? And if they say yes, I got one price already, it'd be like $27,750 to get it done. But that would be a way for us to do it and get our money back. If we can't pull it off and we can't get the 2-year contract, then I obviously don't wanna pay someone $27.50, then we could maybe work on it little by little and save the money. But if it's something that, I could pull off, it'd be nice, because then they would be paying essentially for the renovation. So, Nicole says she thinks it could possibly be feasible and to get a couple more quotes, so, it's just something to think about. He does want it by like, sometime in August, so it'd be quick, and I explained to the, contractor, like, you wanna do this like yesterday kind of deal, you know what I mean? But it's basically just painting flooring, so
Yeah,
it's not no major construction, but we've got so much money into that building, and that would help with some of our rodent problem, keeping it occupied. And we got people, I mean, I just think it'd be a great thing, you
Yeah,
know?
we just need to get our solicitor involved and get a solid contract for 2 years.
Yeah.
Upfront. And then it's a.
Yeah, if not, I think we should just go ahead and do it, you know, maybe the guys and us can do it, and then maybe try to reach out to see if somebody, cause it's a nice building.
Yeah.
They said they needed at least 500 square feet, that thing's got like 4 bathrooms, it's got a kitchen, you know, it's probably close to 3,000 square feet, you know, and I thought, like, when I was, speaking with the contractor, like, the office rooms, we just put indoor, outdoor, cause it's real durable. Maybe that front big room, put in some vinyl planks, you know, make it look real nice, and it would be pretty inexpensive. The wood, leave the wood, we just clean it up, you know, spray paint the, I mean, we can make it happen quick. I did get a hold of Teddy St. John and asked him if he could get his stuff out of there. Regardless, like, he's got a building and it's loaded full of his stuff, and I think that needs to go, you know. And he said, okay, he just wanted the time frame. I'm like, okay, like, as soon as you can get it out,
Yes.
find a place for it, like, it ain't gotta be today, but just get it in the books, find a place and start moving it, like, you know. But it's just something I'd like to do.
I like the idea of the quotes, because I think that $27.5 for paint and carpet and flooring is
Well,
way overinflated.
Flooring's real expensive, when you add the labor to it, it is pretty high, but I like the 3 quotes too. I mean, paint's $20 a gallon, I mean, I don't know, I mean, without measuring it and really doing the math, I don't know. But, and I haven't measured it, so.
I think it's a great idea, only because I had 2 events, my daughter's baby shower and her birthday party in January, and that community center gets cold from people opening that door constantly. And then we could centralize people to go over there. It has everything that the big section has. It has the bathrooms, it has the kitchen, has all that, and we can add second parties, so if somebody's having something in the big one, they could have it in the other one, so we're essentially doubling our money on that too, so.
It's such a big space, it's not utilized.
Yeah.
We got all that money in the roof and the siding and the windows, it's kinda crazy just to let it sit there.
We need an access point too from the parking lot, because there's no access to the front of the
I have to
building.
get hold of the school and
Yeah.
right behind there.
Yeah, because there's already base there from before.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you just scrape off some sod and put in some gravel, I think that's all we got up front.
Yeah, that courtyard in the back, you could put bounce houses and stuff back there, so I mean, it's a lot of stuff people can do, but it'll work.
there was a lot of work done to the floors in there because, I worked with, Della Penna, and we did a lot of repair in there.
On the east side,
Huh?
on the east
You're
wing.
talking about the other side.
No, I'm talking about where the daycare used to be, where you're talking about where the,
Man, no floor, it ain't.
Yeah,
There's
yeah, they
no
need
floors
replaced
in there.
again.
Yeah, there's no floors in there,
Yeah,
really.
cause there's
Go in there.
plywood that needs
I'm
replaced.
a
and
big
stuff.
boy, I thought I was gonna be touching the ground walking through there.
we did fix it up.
Yeah, something happened. I don't know, something happened.
Can't do this.
It's a little rough. Jamel, was that floor looked?
It was not well. No, it wasn't.
It's just some quality work done in there.
Yeah, whoever did that
Yeah,
be
we
fired.
got a contract with the DOT to replace 3 bridges,
Sorry.
303, this one, and 400.
Thank you.
Chief, you have anything?
We're battling the building, painting away, got the people in there, we're almost, I think we got like 1.5 rooms left. So we were over there today for about 4 hours. I'm shooting to have everything done, and I really am with the fun in the sun and stuff, and I got my daughter's graduation this weekend. After that, I'm pushing everybody to get in there and get stuff done, so, I'm hoping that we can start moving soon. So, I don't know what we gotta do to get them to come in and inspect once we get done with all this stuff. If we gotta call them, we gotta come out and inspect, or we can start moving. So, I
Yeah,
don't know
I
that
would
process.
probably call and set that up sooner than later, just so in case you get another hiccup and then it takes, you know how they are from the first time, so.
Yeah.
I would probably just set that up and then after that, all you gotta do is casually move in, so. You guys do have the electric thing scheduled, correct? That's
So
coming.
they were out, started it on Friday, and they haven't called us back to get back in and finish.
Alright.
So, but it's moving, it's gonna start going fast now.
Alright, and, the other thing, did you look over the impound thing?
So I read the ordinance that, the solicitor had given to me, so I was gonna, at the committee meeting, present that to you guys and have you read it over. I don't see anything wrong with it.
I was gonna say, it looks pretty cut and dry.
It does. I wanted to give it at the committee meeting, cause we had to do the 3 reads, and it's a change to the ordinance, so.
Alrighty, thank you, sir. I'll put this.
Yeah. National Night Out, when is that?
Yeah,
gonna be?
I know.
Yeah, so Tuesday the 6th is our night out, so if anybody would like to help, we do have the bounce houses coming back in the dunk tank. Other than that.
You like that?
Oh, yeah, I love it.
Probably as
It
much
cools you off.
Mac likes the pie in the face.
Oh my god.
Does that happen?
Oh,
Not
yeah.
right? Oh.
Dude, they like set a record. Like I don't know if it was love or what it was, but
Can you still smell
they got, yeah.
Sour milk, man.
it?
I actually.
Next time use nose plugs.
That's what Rick told me and I didn't even put the
I know, I
glasses
didn't,
on.
I wasn't
Well,
doing
fine.
something.
Picture, nobody got a picture of him with pie?
Bob
I
had
think
some.
my
Yeah,
husband
Bob
got
had
one,
some.
and I think he put it on
Bob was my
Facebook.
video
Yeah, he
photographer
was.
the whole day. Yeah, we got it. But, yeah, so we'll get that going. What else was it? Everything with the fence,
Fence is all good, cameras over there are good. Oh, the cameras on the rest, Howland Alarm contacted me and scheduled that for the week of August 9th, I believe. So they'll be out here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and different locations installing. They had the community center on there.
Did that?
They did.
Oh,
So that was on that quote.
Yeah, see, I thought we approved
Yeah,
it.
that's cool. Cool by me. And we do have monitors, so however that wants to go, or go with that already. McCall already has those. What time was that police night out then?
I believe we started at 5 or 6. 6 we get everybody get home.
Was it
Yeah.
6 to 8
5
to 8.
last year, or 5 to 8? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think last year we did 5 to 8, and nobody came the first hour, cause they didn't get home from work, so I think 6 to 8 or 6 would be efficient.
What day is this?
It's Tuesday, the 6th.
You guys doing the hot dogs and all that?
Yeah.
I said, okay.
Hey, my man last year had 47, or was that what was the day we went to do that, all the hot dogs? That was Christmas.
Where's mine?
Man, yeah, I don't see that.
What's
I
that?
went home with a plate.
One kid,
He decided that
he was going home with some hot
and
dogs.
they were falling out because he was trying to grab some cookies.
I'm like, we would've just.
I have that kid.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm like, I'm not making fun, it was just something to remember. Alright, last chance for council to speak on any subject.
I'd just like to say, what a great job Sherry did.
Yes.
And the efforts, you had to be exhausted.
I could hardly walk on Sunday, but I managed through it, so thank you.
You were everywhere.
Shut up. I can
But,
tell, I had a few drinks.
And this is a good reason why we need a committee.
It
It's
is.
just too much of a work.
Yeah,
It is.
there, for all of us, I mean.
It's a lot.
Yeah, we definitely needed more.
And
help.
somehow you even got people for the hot dog.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Right at the, yeah.
that was cool. Yeah, I guess we should acknowledge the winners of those who, Joe Claudy won the hot dog eating contest,
First
right?
place.
Hey, what he knew what he did.
Yeah, and I bet I mean, and Landon Stanley won the,
Yeah, his ribs were good.
It was rigged.
And our own
Nah,
Jamel-
good job,
Jamel
man.
came in
Good
third,
job.
right?
Good job.
Our own
Jamel came in third,
That's
so
right,
he's still
second.
pretty
Jamel
salty.
came in third.
I was eating some that crispy.
I heard he cooked them at home.
Hey, as
That's
soon
not
as-
true.
As soon as I walked
That's
in, they were
absolutely
like,
not
"You
true."
cheated." And I told him, I was like, Jamel, I've never.
He was
seen
just mad because
30
he
people
burned
say
3
to
racks
somebody-
before he did.
You're just mad because the ones you tried of his were burnt.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Alright, so we got, Mark here. I'll let, Mark is going to speak with us about scanning our records and paperwork pretty much over and seeing if that's something we wanna look into or do.
So a lot of communities are digitizing their records, right? And so, it's not an easy decision to figure out whether you should scan your records or not. A lot of records actually don't need to be scanned. A lot of communities have just, accumulated more records than they know what to do with. And they're overwhelmed and they don't know where to start with the whole thing. And so, kind of long story short, I've been digitizing records for 30 years and worked with a lot of different organizations and municipalities and so forth. And at the end of the day, electronic records are easy to find. You can certainly get rid of a lot of the paper records and free up a lot of space that you have. But it's not always the ideal solution for what you're gonna do. In a lot of cases, it costs quite a bit of money. So I guess the first question is, what state are your records in? Have you been, purging the records on a regular basis, or are they just kind of overwhelmed with everything?
You came at a time. You came at a time.
And I've seen it, so I get it, We do provide a service that we call cataloging, and we come in and using the state guidelines. I'm assuming most of these are in boxes of some sort. We go through the boxes, we identify what type of records are in those boxes, and we cross-reference them to the state's recommendation to their record retention policies. So now you have a spreadsheet, if you will, of the records that you have and relatively an estimate of what's in those boxes. It now gives you the opportunity to identify which ones could be submitted to the state to be destroyed or recycled, and then which records you're gonna need to hold on to. How are you managing current records? and have you started moving into the electronic world of managing that information? Or is it still pretty much a paper process?
It's just a paper process.
Figured as much. And again, you know, I've been around long enough, there's no reason to change what you're doing unless it's broke. You know, so address the problem that you have with a lot of the records. You know, figure out what you can get rid of and then figure out what you wanna retain. Then figure out a plan of all your new records, how you're gonna file and organize all of that information, so that you have yourself and you don't overwhelm yourself again.
Is that a service you do yearly for new records? that you come
We
in?
do, we do. A lot of communities, we've digitized a lot of their records. A lot of communities have gone into electronic workflows, where they're getting applications electronically now, reviewing them, approving them, and so forth, all electronically. And for record retention purposes, we've kind of walked into a brand new era. Electronic information is not archival. There's no way they're going to withstand record retention policies that are currently in place, unless there's a really good plan to help manage that information. And that's what I do a lot of talking about, is digital preservation. You know, my background, our business is SE Blueprint, so we work with a lot of builders, right? I actually grew up in this business. I've been doing it for 50 years. And I understand all the players involved with all of that information. As things migrated into the electronic world, we needed to understand what that was, because it used to be paper workflow. We used to print all the prints and the specifications, and everybody worked from that information. Then it all became PDF files, and nobody knew what they were working from and what version the information was. So we learned what all of those details were as it related to electronic information. But after the project is done, how do you manage that information? And more importantly, how's the next generation of people need access that information? And then is new information going in and being organized the same way? And there in fact is the flaw with everybody that I've spoken with. You know, everybody had ideas of what they wanted to do 10, 15 years ago. That has all changed in the last 10, 15 years. They all have new ideas of how they want to do it. And the information is not necessarily easy to integrate with each other. So they just made it more difficult for themselves. So in communities like yours, understand that electronic information will start to impact what you're doing. But as of right now, if it's not impacting really significantly the way that you're managing your processes and you're still in a paper process, I would say let's start by cataloging it, figuring out what you have. Now you can start budgeting some things. Best of all, now you can understand what you can start to get rid of, clear up some space, better utilize you know, the facilities that you have, type of thing. And you know, I can just so the records are in multiple locations, I'm assuming, or are they all in one records room?
So we have all of our records currently past their records retention. We've sorted through anything from the police department side of things, tax side, and fiscal side, that we had to keep with the records retention periods. Not the fiscal side, I can't say we went through all of those yet. So, but what we've done is we pulled like the homicides and stuff where people are still in detention, where there's a case on file, and set those aside. And we were getting ready to do a mass destruction because we've got records from the 60s and 50s.
Yeah.
So, we have already sorted through all that. We're ready to send to the AG's office the list of, you know, from this date to this date and what we have. So, right now, I do know that like we're using Rita for taxes.
Okay.
Our police reports are all kept on Sundance or have been stored on OLEG, which is a state filing system.
Okay.
And they're retaining them there.
Yeah.
For the police department.
Yeah.
As far as inter-office communications and stuff like that, I don't know. We're looking at going to, like a one source.
Okay.
For Microsoft, but I don't know how we would retain those. We're still gonna need a paper copy. Like we still have paper copies of the police reports in case something happens and we dispose of those as they go. I haven't been here 5 years, so we haven't done any since I've been here.
The good thing about paper is that that's one copy, so if you have an electronic copy of it too, now you have duplicate information and an insurance policy if one happens to the other, right? And so, yeah, that makes sense. You know, things like ordinances, resolution and so forth, permanent records, I'm assuming you had a lot of books or binders of that information. It does make sense to digitize that information just again, so nothing happens to that information. Other permanent records, facility records, you know, facilities are a huge asset for communities. Infrastructure, you know, sewers and so on and so forth. You're gonna want those records. So if they've not been managed properly over the last whatever, right? It might not be a bad idea to look at digitizing them, just so you have that as a backup. So you can find the information you need when you need it, type of thing. You know, and at the end of the day, I'm not gonna charge you to come out and give you estimates on what it is to digitize these records. But you can now identify what records are important. You can start budgeting for them and figure out which we want to do this year, which ones you might do next year, and put a plan together so that you do have that organized a little bit. When you did digitize your records, you're gonna want to make sure it's managed in a couple of different places. We do offer a cloud-based hosting site where you can log in and you can access and search for your documents and so forth. I'm not sure I'm ready to recommend it for a community like yours. I think it's just over-engineered. In the years I've been doing this, I've seen so many people make it so complicated. And at the end of the day, they're just records. You know, let's just be smart about it. If we're talking about zoning type of records, let's talk about the parcels and the subdivisions and so forth, rather than overcomplicating a lot of the details that need to be done. On the electronic records that you do have, there are cloud storage that are just, you know, file storage type of scenarios. They're very affordable, and so long as you build it into your records committee program to revisit it at least once a year, everybody would know those records are there. Everybody would know those records were getting updated. If you needed somebody to come out and digitize records, we do it quarterly for some communities. We do it annually for others. We would know how to format that information. One of the keys is making sure you're consistent, always naming and filing it the same way. You know, as people come and go from different departments and so forth, you kind of lose that. And I've found that that's one of the things that we bring to the table a little bit, is that we understand what you've been doing, so we can actually clue you in to what they were doing previously. And then it really is up to them to determine whether they want to continue to do it the way it's been done, or they have other ideas to do it. With technology and the way things are going, larger communities are just on this fast track to find the next piece of software to do it. And really what they need to do is just all sit down and put a good plan together and understand what they're doing before they do it. And so, you know, that's a lot of what I do talk about with communities. So my recommendation is maybe set a day that I come out and visit some of the records to get an idea what you have. I can provide estimates on digitizing it. Once I have an idea what the records are looking like, I can provide an estimate to come out and catalog the records. You know, it might take a couple, 3 days for us to go through the records and figure out what it has. I don't want to jinx myself. I may have just, you know, put myself in a bad spot, but and usually we're around $800 a day to go out, to come out and do these records. For a lot of communities and school districts that we work with, you know, it's 1 or 2% of what they're looking at to digitize those records. And I can't tell you how many places I've gone into and there's just rows and rows and rows and rows and rows of boxes. And they're looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars to potentially scan those. And I'm looking at them and saying, 70% of these you can just file with the state and get rid of them. But nobody takes the time to really do that. So that's a lot about what we've been doing. So appreciate the opportunity to come in and talk to you about it. Should I follow up with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And just before you go, does anyone have any questions for
Yeah.
him? On anything?
Any
And,
business card?
yeah.
I do, I brought a few.
Like I say, just for the record, can you state your name and what company?
I'm Mark Mathias with SE Blueprint. We have offices in Cleveland and Akron. We work with a lot of communities within Portage County, a lot of your neighbors. So, you know, we're here to help. That's one of the things I like in what I do, is I work with communities, I work with my neighbors, and I get something out of it, so.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys. I got a couple cards I'll grab for you.
All right.
We actually digitized a number of the records over at the school district over here as well.
Perfect.
All right, guys have a great evening, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Remember, the road's closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta remember.
So the other part of 303 is closed, so I figured I had it, but then when I turned left and started going that way and saw the other one, I was like, oh, come on, really? And it's only what, a half a mile till the turn onto Main Street, right?
Yeah. Gate workers.
It's all right. Have a great night.
We're still on, I kinda forgot he was back there for a second, so we're still on last chance for anyone that, if you have anything. We are going to look into, I spoke with Nicole about the possibility of getting an office assistant. So we have someone to help out. Marie does have a lot going on. Nicole has a lot going on, like if someone could kind of mediate in between and just help them with, doesn't have to be much, anything, but I think that'd be a good idea. She thinks it'll be, so we'll look into that when, she gets back from her trip. And also, do we want to look into possibly having a car show next month? Or do you wanna just put it off and wait till next year?
I think it's kind of quick notice. I'm just asking.
I don't know if maybe, cause I know it's,
How
cause
late do they
I've
run?
had some people reach out to me and say they would do it, but it's always verbally, people will say anything verbally.
I don't know what they do in Garrettsville. How late do they run them in the year? September, is that it?
Yeah,
Or-
September's the last.
Labor Day's their last one this year.
Okay.
Next month's the peak social. August.
Tenth?
There's probably a lot next month, now that
Yeah.
I think about it, cause it's towards the end of this.
Right.
Yeah, plus spares and everything else.
Now, we'll scratch that. Alright, solicitors report.
No report, as far as I know anyway. I don't know if there's any burning questions from you all that you'd like me to consider or take a chuck or anything for preparation next time.
Yes, if you could have them looking into the ordinance for raising the rates, if we have to go through 3 reads again, or if that's something we can just reinstitute.
To reinstate the 5%
Reinstate,
increase
yes.
every year.
'Cause
Water, for
We used to
water
do it every
rates.
year.
we suspended
It's
it,
automatic.
but, yes. I
But don't we just freeze it though? When
thought,
they come in the fall, we freeze it for the next year?
a couple years ago or last year, we did it.
Those last 3 years.
Typically, if we do nothing,
It does.
5% comes
Right.
in.
Yeah,
So we gotta figure out-
automatically.
Right.
But that changed last year.
Yeah, we froze
That's because we froze it, right?
No, because they changed it
Right.
so that you wouldn't have to freeze it, it wouldn't go up
Oh,
unless
okay.
you sold
I knew
it.
we were doing that.
Yeah, we said unless we wanted to go up, but we gotta make sure that we can just reinstate it.
Alright, thank you, Nick. We got the calendar. We got August 13th, 6 p.m.
Good for me.
This was open, yeah, that's good.
Everyone good?
Mhm.
Alright.
Yep,
August 27th, 6 p.m.
I'm good.
That looks okay too.
Sherry, you're gonna do that meeting.
Okay.
That's my anniversary. She'll kill me if I come sit here with you guys.
August 13th, you said?
August 13th and August 27th. Cheryl, you got that?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
August 13th, August 27th.
Yes, ma'am. All right, nobody else has anything, correct? All right.
Like to make a so 7:09, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the regular council meeting.
I will second that.
Mr. Garrett,
Yes.
Ms. Altier,
Yes.
Ms. Pennington,
Yes.
Ms. Gage,
Yes.
Ms. Belknap,
Yes.
Mr. Bowman.
Yes.